Come on in, welcome to my home. It's the first week of the month, so that means it's time for my monthly favorites. This is June 2023, so let's just jump into it. These are things that I have been testing on Amazon Vine. I've gotten these products for free. I'm going to show you what I think were the best for the month. So, starting off with something which I think is so cool. These are the solar lanterns. I think that these are so cool. The glow that they give off at night is absolutely amazing. They are solar powered and they are really pretty bright. However, and there always is a however. One of the things that I've found with these things is the fact that they do not stay lit long. And I mean not long at all. I've gotten up to 3 hours off of a charge on a very sunny day. Now, to be fair, I do have them in my office. They are not outside in full direct sunlight. I do think that they would do better in full direct sunlight, but I love them. I actually truly love them. There's just something absolutely just magical about them. The outside is white, the inside is gold, and the light just lights up so warm and almost romantic. I have them hanging just from strings on the curtain rod that's above my window. They are amazing, and I mean honestly, actually amazing. And I would highly recommend them, even though they do have a short life of when they're on, because you can just turn them on, and then once they run out of power in the morning or in the next day, they will charge up again. It is so good. It is so nice. And it does just add this really nice glow to the room. There's just, I mean, you almost expect there to be like, I don't know, some sort of, it just seems magical. The lanterns themselves are actually sort of small. They're 5 by 5 by just about 10 inches or just under 10 inches. But I mean, the impact is not something you're going to use for actually lighting up a room. These are not what those are for. These literally are for more of a glow. They're an accent. They are not a predominant light. But that's pretty cool. I really do love these, and I would recommend them. The next one is the Tryme Bedside Light. Bedside Light. Okay. Realistically, this thing is meant to go outside. It is really cool. I want to stress this. Realistically, this thing is meant to go outside. It is really cool. And I mean really cool. This is one of those lights which, once again, it is solar powered. However, you can also charge it up with a USB port, USB jack, using your USB port. Yeah, you know what I mean. It has 3 settings. There is a night light setting, which I think is actually kind of dim for a night light setting. There is the medium setting, which is what I generally use for the night light setting. And then there is a bright setting, which is bright enough that you could probably do most things for this. The thing which I have found is that this light does stay on for a long time. And I mean an actual long time. I would say it is about 5 to 8 hours. I know there's a big range in there, but we've had a lot of rain, and I mean a lot of rain recently. So this light is just a very nice kind of look. The lamp has a metal base and a plastic globe, which does let light through. It has a nice little chain, which you then pull to change the different light levels. I actually like that because it makes it seem more like a real lamp. It seems like one of those things that you could bring inside, and you can actually bring it inside and use it as a normal lamp. So you can turn it on, you can turn it off, you can turn it up and down by just pulling the chain. That I really like. And also, if the power goes out, you do have a lamp. The lamp base is just over 7¼ inches, and it's about 13½ inches high, which is nice. You can tuck it into just about anywhere. You can place it outside. You can take it with you outside and read in the dark or semi-dark or whatever you want. It does give you enough light. Now, what I like about this is to have the light so it is coming through between my aloe, which of course my aloe is going crazy, but it gives me a nice amount of light in the room. And I think that is nice. And I think it's also very nice that this is one of those things that when our power goes out, and with the storms that we've been having, it's going to happen sooner or later, probably sooner. This is a nice power backup thing, and if you have this light inside your house by a sunny window, you can use the solar power to use it. And I do like the fact that it becomes a cordless lamp that you can take along with you anywhere. It just looks nice. Next we have the FREEDARE collapsible wagon cart. I can tell you I have used this thing a lot. In fact, right now it is piled high with stuff because I've been trying to get my plants outside all put together. You'll know this because that's actually the next video where I'm talking about more plants. No, it's not. I've already done this. Well, yeah. So it is one of those things where I love everything about this. The cool part about this is it comes basically assembled. You just put in the bottom part and you accordion stretch it out. That's nice. That is really nice. It holds a lot, and I mean an absolute ton of stuff you can put in there. But the other cool part about this is when you fold it down, it does has a cover that goes over it. That's handy, but the handle sticks out, which means that you now have something that you can just pull around as a folded cart. That is handy, because I've had folding carts where once you've collapsed them, they become like a block on wheels and you have to figure out how to pull this. No, this is really stable and you can just use the handle to pull it around. That is nice. There's also a great place to put the bottom, because the bottom is a reinforced bottom that you can then fold up, put in the storage bag, zip it all up, and it moves around so easily. And you can fill it up with so much stuff. I mean, so much stuff. My mom keeps talking about you could probably put little kids in there and take them around. The wheels are nice and sturdy. It does not have a problem with going over rocks. It has no problem with going up over thresholds. It is really good and really strong, and that's one thing that I was looking for with a cart, was the fact that it had to be able to stand up to my use of it and abuse. And it's easy to clean, because with doing my plants, of course, you know, there's going to be dirt and things around there. Well, guess what? I could very easily just wipe the cart out and then we're ready to go. And having the removable bottom, I can then take that out and rinse it off, and perfect. I mean, this one actually is really cool and really nice. And it's one of those things where I think that if you're doing a lot of things where you are hauling stuff like bags of soil, or even if you're doing things like hauling groceries around, that sort of thing, you can use this cart for that and it's not going to be any problem whatsoever. Let's talk about my 4-tier metal plant stand, which right now is only a 3-tier metal plant stand. Why is it only a 3-tier metal plant stand? Because I didn't need the 4th tier. It would have made it a little too high. I really like this thing. This is really cool. Now let me explain the principle of it and everything behind it. Putting it together was no problem. That was, it just screws together really nice. Now the bottom tier is a metal tray. The top tier is a metal tray. The middle 2 tiers are wooden disc. The metal trays do hold water, so you don't have to worry if you are putting your plants on there and overwatering, which, yeah, I overwater at times. It will hold the water in. I've had no leakage whatsoever, and it's sturdy. That's the other part about this that I like. The feet are adjustable so that you can make sure that it is not leaning, which is another thing that I like. It is strong. The top that I have on there right now is the aloe. It's a big aloe that needs to be repotted. I then have a wonderful terracotta pot, which I'm going to be filling very, very soon. And then the bottom tier, I have my little snippets from my spider plant. And I can water those. It can drain into there. It's nice. It really is. I would highly recommend this thing simply because it gives you a lot of space. Now, there are some things to think about. The one thing which I thought they sort of missed is if you decide to only use a 3-tier, you do not have the ability to then take those extra legs and create another plant stand out of it. No, you have to have all 4 tiers, because when it screws together, that's what holds it together. So there's no way of using like my 1 tier that I'm not using. I can't use it as just a regular plant stand because, well, there's no ability to it. Now I can take out the wooden disc and have it 2 tiers and then just be able to have a plant growing up through there. I could do that. I'm not going to, but I could, which would be really nice and everything. It is very modern looking, and it's a good size, which is one of the things that I do like about that, because a lot of times you see these metal plant stands and they're really, really small. I don't want really, really small. The one thing that I have noticed is that there's very little room in between the 4 tiers. Well, the 3 tiers, because the 4th tier is the top. It could use with some more room, but it's okay. Okay, this is one which is totally unexpected that I liked it. This is the RISINGUP irrigation system. Now, this is a solar irrigation system. When I first got this, I was like, well, what? So here's what it is. It has a solar panel, which in that solar panel, there is a pump. You put a tube down into a bottle, and then 2 electrodes. The electrodes are what actually cause the water to make sure that there's water in there. It's a really, really simple system, and I mean really, really simple, so that it will not run out. It will not run if there is no water in the jug. It will stop. Here's something which I didn't think about, which I think they overlooked. There are settings on this. You can have your plant irrigation system run once every 24 hours or once every 12 hours. That's it. So you can set it for different amounts of time. The times are 5, 15, and 20, sorry. 5, 10, 15, and 20 minutes. But that's it. They missed a great opportunity, because there are some times where I was thinking, well, I'm never going to want to run this thing, every once a day for 5 minutes, because I thought my plants would get too much water. Well, not exactly. If you have the right number of plants, which right now I have 7 connected to it, it is the right amount of water. It is very easy to put together. It comes with T connectors and then probes that you put down into the soil. The water goes down through the little blue tubes and is dispersed through the soil, and it's nice. It is really, really nice. And if you've got a big jug that you could put your water in, you could fill it up and be gone for like a long time. I have found with the setup that I have, I'm using about 3/4 of a gallon of water every day. So every time it waters, that's how much water I use. That's good. That is a good thing. And the other part about this is, since the tubing is very easy to just snip apart and add more, you can get extra pieces to it so that way you can expand it. I really have been enjoying this because it was something that was so unexpected. I didn't think that I would love, but I really do love it. It does not overwater my plants, and I can really take advantage of it because I then just once a day fill up the jug of water, and I don't have to worry that if the water is not on there, if the water runs out, will it keep running? No, the motor will shut out. Now, here's the cool thing about this also, is the fact that you can turn it off and on. Yeah, that is really handy. You can then say, I will do it manually and just turn it on for the 5 minutes and then turn it off. So that way, if you don't want to water every 12 or 24 hours, for 5 minutes or however long you set it, you can just turn it on manually. I do like the fact that it can be set out in the sun, which is really interesting because it comes with a stand that has 2 screw holes in it, so you could screw it down to something to secure it. There are a couple weird things about it. One of the weird things about it is the fact that the screw holes, the thing could be, the stem of it could be a little longer, which would be really nice. And also, it has an orientation. The orientation is that the screw holes are facing a certain way so that you can't turn the base, which would make life a little bit easier and easier to then place it, because it does have to face the way it's facing. when you look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about. It is good. It actually is good, which is so surprising. I now don't have to worry about my plants, and now I probably will stick with it being every day for 5 minutes. And as I add more plants to it, all it is just a little snip of the tubing, put in the T connector, and go from there. I like this. I like this a lot. Let's talk about my 4th of July decorations. These are cool. I mean, these are really cool. These are simple LEDs that have a remote, which is kind of cool. It has different settings that you can then put up. You hang them, and then at night when you turn them on, they can do all sorts of different kind of looks, which sort of looks like fireworks. And with the right music, you can have your own 4th of July celebration using these LED, and they actually give off quite a glow. I've had these in my office, and believe it or not, with some music playing, it's really kind of fun. And I think if you had more of these scattered throughout your area, especially if you were outside, it really would give you that nice 4th of July look. I do have mine set so one is higher than the other. It does take 3 AA batteries, which I think that was a missed opportunity because they could have had it so it could be rechargeable. I think everything should come rechargeable now. Just a little USB connector. But that's okay because I do have I do have a battery charger. It's really easy to put together. It does have a hook that you can then put it on, hang it on, whatever. The thing which does take some time is to move each wire so that it is in a pleasing sort of appearance. That did take a little time, but you know, it was really worth it because it looks so good. I so enjoy this. It is one of those things where you can just sit back, relax, listen to some music, and watch the fireworks. And you can do this anytime, and I think that's sort of fun. If you had like a balcony that you could hang them out further away from your house, and you could sit there, and it would probably sort of be like going to the 4th of July fireworks, in a way. Which would be really nice. I think that's cool. Let's talk about the Hedley and Bennett Cedar Blue Crossback Apron. I love this thing. It's denim. It's denim. Do you know how nice a denim apron is? This thing can stand up to a lot of wear and tear, and I mean a lot of wear and tear. The one thing that I have found is I always had white aprons before because if you get dirty and those sort of things, they're easy to clean, they're easy to bleach. This is denim. We know how tough denim is. It is a crossback apron where the crossing of the belts actually make the belt. So it is one continuous piece per side. They cross in the back. They tie, they are really nice. And I mean, it is tough, it has the pocket. It is something that I think that you would like, especially if you cook a lot. I have gotten this thing covered with flour. I have stained it. The stains wash out really, really easy, simply because, you know, denim. Maybe every apron should be denim. It is tough, and I mean tough. When you first get it, it is a little stiff, but as you use it and wash it, it does soften up, just like a good pair of jeans would. I've found that I like using it simply because it is that tough. It is so, you don't have to worry about this. You're not worried about catching it on something and tearing it. You're not worried about something hooking into, especially like a knife. No, it's really nice, and it's big, it covers everything, it is one solid piece. I'm saying that this is the apron that I will use from here on out because it just works so well. And I can throw it into the washer and go. It dries quickly. Oh my gosh, this is what I will be using forever probably because it just feels sturdy. I love this apron. I didn't want to forget the stretch Loveseat cover. This Loveseat cover is in brown, and it's good. I mean, it's really good. I first thought I wasn't going to like it because it was stiff when I first got it, and I will tell you right now, it has that chemical kind of smell, but I washed it twice and put in some fabric softener, and wow, Then I put it on my couch, which my couch is ugly. I'll give it that. But putting it on was really, really easy. It is labeled so that way it says back. Then you just put it on and tuck. It doesn't take a lot of time. In fact, it went really quickly. You just have to pay attention to where everything is and where you think things should be. If you're expecting it to be 100% perfect, I did not have a good time to try to get it 100% perfect. But then again, I also wasn't going to take the time to get it 100% perfect. But I like it. And the thing that I like the most about it is the fact that I can get on this thing, sit down, and play with the dog on the couch, and then it doesn't move because it has these styrofoam little tubes which you tuck in under your cushions so that way it anchors the cover in the perfect spot. And those stay in place. And I mean, they stay in place. You actually have to really be roughhousing on the couch before they pull out, which is what I love. I love that about this. It looks good. It doesn't feel bad at all. In fact, it feels very soft. In fact, that's what's off to my side right now. Couch is right there. It just is really nice, and I like that. It's still, even after, I think this is have I watched it 3 times? I watched it 3 times. Sometimes you can get a little whiff of that chemical kind of smell, but it is totally worth it. I think it gives the room a nice appearance. I'm going to get a second one for the other couch because my couches are in great shape. The problem is they just look old and dated, and I don't like the color anymore. This is very neutral. It will go with everything, and if I decide I want to change it out, I'll get another one of these because it just looks so nice. And like I said, it was so easy to put on. It didn't take a lot of thinking. There wasn't a lot of fumbling around. It just stretches on, and in no time, you have a completely new looking couch. Well, that's it. Those are my favorite things for June. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're interested in some of these things, they're listed down below in the affiliate links. These are so much fun, but these are only some of the things that I actually get to test out. If you are part of the Patreon family or part of the channel members, you'll get to a weekly vlog, and in the weekly vlog you get to see me actually unbox these things and test them out and see how well we like them, and then decide what comes on, what are we going to talk about this month. And these were the things which I decided to talk about this month, and I'm going to try to actually do more about having people help me decide what kind of things I want to test. So if you want to become part of that family, go ahead and join the Patreon or channel members. You also get the weekly videos early, which is really nice to have. Something really cool. I want to thank these wonderful people who give me the chance to test out all of these great and cool things, and we get to talk about them too, and we get to talk about general things which are happening in life. Thank you so much for your support. If you like this video, like and share this video. This does help me with the YouTube algorithms. It tells them that this is a good video and they should show more of it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope I get to see you again the next time you stop by.